Hey, what's up everyone? I know it's been a while since I did a video log. I've been kind of slacking a little bit lately, but I want to pick up the camera today and do a little bit of a video log, give you guys an update on what's been going on, which isn't much. As you guys know, it's starting to become winter time, and there's not a lot of racing going on, and most of my videos are at the racetrack because that seems to be what everyone enjoys. But I know there are some people on the channel that do enjoy the video log type stuff, and maybe picking up a little tidbits of information that I put out, even if whether information is good or bad, you can take it for what it's worth. But so I figured I'd pick up the camera today and do a little bit of a video log and show you guys what have changed. So the plan today, I'm kind of skating on the edge of going to a race this weekend. There's a radio prep heads up race this weekend at Jake's Drag Strip down in Alabama. Been there once before. It's on December 5th, this Saturday, and that's probably the last race that's going to happen before March of 2021 that I'm going to be able to go to. So I'm kind of on the fence on going. That's my wife's birthday, but she's probably going to celebrate with some friends, so I'm thinking about maybe trying to see if I can get down there, take the kids with me, and then find a crew chief, because without my wife there, I definitely I can't make what I do happen. I can't race without my wife's help. So she's like my #1 crew chief, so I need another crew chief, so I got to find one of those. But I'm really thinking about going. I feel like that'll be the chance for my chance to run 4 in the car. So today, it's been a while. I've ran the engine really hard all year, and this is probably going to be a subject that's a little touchy for a lot of people, and I don't really have any proof behind whether you should do this or not, but I'm going to do a torque check on the head studs. When I say a torque check, what I mean is I'm not going to loosen the studs. I'm just going to put a torque wrench on them. Set the torque wrench to 85 foot-pounds, and I'm just going to check and see if I get any more turns out of any of the head studs to see if they've loosened up over time. The heads and the block are aluminum. They expand and contract a lot between heat up and cool down, and so I just want to check that. Typically, your head gasket manufacturers don't recommend it with an MLS head gasket. They say it doesn't need to be done, but I think it'll at least give me a peace of mind, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't believe in retorquing. The reason why I don't believe in doing an actual retorque on these is because they're ARP head studs. They call for 85 foot-pounds with the ARP lube. So if I were to do a retorque on these, which is where I would go in sequence based off your tightening pattern, your tightening sequence, and you loosen up the first bolt and then you retorque it to the specified value, well, I would have to take that nut and washer off, and I would have to go through the entire process of cleaning them and putting Molly lube on the washer and on the bolt and threads, or the nut and threads. So I hate ARP Molly lube. If you've ever built an engine with it, it never comes out of the oil. It doesn't matter how many times you change the oil, there's always going to be ARP Molly lube in it. And I don't feel like dealing with more ARP Molly lube in my oil, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a torque check, put it on there, see if we get a turn out of it, any kind of turn, and that would mean that it was really loose, because and all the technical people probably jump into comments anyways, but whenever you're torquing a head stud, you have a even pull on the torque wrench all the way until the point that it clicks, and so you're getting a true friction reading on that fastener. But once it's torqued down, it actually takes more torque to break that. To break that, I don't even know how to explain it, but it takes more torque to start moving the nut again. So if I set my torque wrench to 85 foot-pounds and I still get a turn out of that thing, that means that fastener has loosened up significantly. So it'd be nice to check and see. I doubt we're going to get a turn out of any of them, but we're going to check. Also, I haven't told you guys about it, but I've been working on a 5-inch aluminum downpipe for a while for the car. And I got it somewhat welded up. You guys know I have the TIG welder over here now. I may do a video in the future of me showing you guys how bad at TIG welding I am. But I'm kind of on the fence about that. Tell me what you guys think. If you want me to, I will. But if not, I'll just leave that off camera and I'll just suck at it privately. But got this thing finally done. I had these 290s going right here, and then I had to get a little creative. You can see it coming out of the trim ring over here. I got that 5-inch trim ring from Motion Race Works. But I had to get a little fancy with the pie cuts over here. You can see back down in here. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. It's gonna freak out, of course. All right. Well, we'll forget that. You can kind of see down in there. You can see my pie cut welds right here. And then I had to do another pie cut back there, and it was pretty challenging to get that pipe to line up with an existing hole in the bumper. But I was able to make it happen. And just for reference, the old 4-inch mild steel downpipe weighed about 13 pounds, and the new 5-inch aluminum downpipe weighs about 5 pounds. So that's a decent little weight savings there, and it's also going to flow a good bit better than the 4-inch did. So we'll go ahead and start working pulling these plug wires off. I got to pull those off, and then I'm going to pop these valve covers off, and we're going to see if we can get some turns out of these head studs. Okay, so got the valve cover off. Not quite as easy as getting an LS valve cover off. This valve cover has 11 bolts that hold it on, and this is actually the easier side. But everything looks nice and clean oil. You can see all my million bolts over here that hold it on. I'm pretty happy with how everything looks though. The wear pattern on the cams and everything look good. See all the green oil hanging out in here. I look down here and everything looks nice and clean down here on the chains and the tensioners and the guides. Nothing looks out of place. So I'm going to set up my torque wrench here, and I'm going to go through the sequence and see if we get a little bit of a nudge out of any of these head studs. My 9/16 on the torque wrench here. I'm going to get in here, hopefully around all this stuff, and see if we can check this torque on these things. That's pretty crazy, guys. I just got a pretty good turn out of that one. That's interesting. My torque wrench is on right on the money. Not much out of number 2. Go to number 3. Nothing out of number 3. Go to number 4. Alright, here we are on number 4. Got a little turn out of number 4. This is number 5. Nothing out of number 5. Go to number 6. We'll turn out number 6, 7, a little bit out of number 7, go to number 8. Significant turn out of number 8, like almost a quarter of a turn. Try number 9. A little bit out of number 9. And then number 10. Nothing much out of number 10. Alright, so I'm probably going to have to go back and reference this video to see what I said, but wow, that's interesting. I did not think that we were going to get as much of a turn out of some of those as I did, but that's maybe I'm at the point where I need to do this pretty often. I'm just not sure, but I'm glad I did it and I didn't go out and run the car really hard this weekend and pop a gasket. So I guess that's a real world experience right there, that it's probably a good idea to retorque your head studs every once in a while. At least on something that you're running really hard, high boost, high horsepower, even with the MLS gasket. So I'm going to get the valve cover back on this side and then start fighting this side over here. Okay, got the passenger side valve cover off and just visually inspecting everything in here, valve spring wise and follower wise. Everything looks nice and clean, nice and new. Same thing on this side, everything looks nice and clean on the down inside the timing cover. So I'm going to get this camera set up, get my torque wrench, and going to go through all of these head bolts and see if we get some turns out of them as well. Alright, go ahead and hit number 1 up real quick. I need to get my extension for this side. 1 second. One more try at this, number 1. About 1/8 of a turn out of that one. Wow. It's pretty crazy, guys. I'm getting a decent turn out of number 2. Alright. Scratching my paint up over here, but it'll be okay. Wow, that was significant. I'd say that was almost a half a turn, which is crazy. Number 3. Nothing on there. 4. End up having to get a little wow. What's up, buddy?
Even Thomas got red eyes.
Really?
Uh-huh. He's white.
Number 5. Got a little turn out of that one, which is blowing my mind. Number 6. This side's a little more of a pain to get to everything. Number 6. Number 7's in the back. Nothing on that one. a little bit. Number 9. Nothing. And number 10. Nothing on number 10. Nice and solid. Alright. Well, that is interesting. Everything's back together. Both my valve covers are back on. Got everything hooked back up. And I'm gonna let that silicone dry up for a little bit that I put on the right there on the valve covers. And then once that's dry, start this thing up. And it's really not bright under this hood, but start this thing up and make sure that I hooked everything back up correctly. And that's always a good thing to do. So I don't know, guys. What do y'all think? I'd say at this level, at least, it's very important. It's very important to do a torque check on your head studs. I did one right after I built the engine this time last year. May have been a little bit, it may have been earlier on in the year. I can't remember when I actually got this engine in the car and running, but it's been a whole season since I checked those head studs. So obviously running the car hard, 30 plus pounds of boost for most of the season, it's important to check the torque on the head studs. So I was always a firm believer and you didn't need to because the manufacturer said you didn't have to do a retorque, but I think in this case you do. So hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.